What's happening, everybody? I'm gonna try something real quick. Let me see something real fast. Let's see if this works. I'm just curious. It might not work. Well, that's not gonna work. That's okay. I tried something, it didn't work, but hey, you know what? That's all right. That's all right, man. What's up, Mr. Robert Davis? What's up, Moshe Fitzpatrick? How's it going? What's up, Mr. Brian Stallcup? Yes, I am up and going. I've been back for about 3 or 4 weeks now, and man, I'm in a much better place. But I'm gonna wait a little bit and let some people get on here first before I go into tonight's show. But first off, I would like to go on and thank my sponsors, my loyal, faithful sponsors. What's up, Mr. Cole? First up tonight is our good friends over at Hale Speed Shop, www.halespeedshop.com. If you don't know what hellspeedshop.com is, man, you're living under a rock. You got to go to the website. You got to check out all of their apparel, their hats, their banners, their flannel shirts, their t-shirts, all the stuff they've got going on. It's great stuff. Hellspeedshop.com is your one-stop shop for all flannels, period. I currently have almost 20 of them. I love them. I love them so much. It's not even funny. I could not recommend them more. Plus, Gina and Nathan are awesome freaking people. They're great people to do business with. Go check them out at hellspeedshop.com. Look them up on Facebook at Hell Speed Shop on Facebook. Man, there's communities out there. Go check them out. If you do order something, man, at least leave a little memo or something to them. Let them know you saw it right here on the grind. Next up, our good friends over at Jade Affiliated, jadeaf.com. Jade Affiliated on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you need to go. You just need to know this guy makes the best wheels in the industry. He is dropping pictures every single day of some of the most killer wheels, stock wheels, fat tires, big wheels, 30 inches bigger. Killer guy. Jad is a great dude. I've actually got a set of Walter Whites coming my way. Go check them out at jadeaf.com and order up some wheels, man. Dude's a great guy to work with. Next up, our good friends over at Urban Rides Magazine. Established in 2019, Urban Rides Magazine came at a time when we didn't have any very good magazines out there, and Daniel Roby and the guys decided they wanted to bring the magazines back. I've got the copies. It's a great magazine. They have the internet sales. They have magazines, hard copies. If you get over to urbanridesmagazine.com, find the link and go to the streetbaggermagazine.com, the sister publication. Daniel Roby and Jason Silman are all over the country all the time, going to the rallies, doing stereo competitions, doing bike shows, doing everything. Just a great guy for the industry. So go check him out at urbanridesmagazine.com and get you a subscription. Next up, American Drag Seats, americandragseats.com. Plain and simple, we build custom Harley Davidson seats. We build custom chopper seats, custom bagger seats. We do upholstery, reupholstery. We do foam repair. We do straight up full-blown custom from the seat pan up, or you can make a seat pan and mail it to us, and we'll do the same to it. Go check us out at americandragseats.com. Find us on Facebook at American Drag Seats /attitudeinc.com. Check us out on Instagram at American Drag Seats, TikTok, American Drag Seats. We're everywhere. Just check us out. You need a seat, we got you covered. Next up, our good friends over at Indiana and Illinois Thunder Roads Magazine. Another great publication if you're up in that area. Great magazine. A lot of pictorials, a lot of pictures at rallies, a lot of pictures at different gatherings, the different bars they go to. I mean, custom bikes, everything you could possibly want. They've even got a calendar inside there of all the stuff going around in that area. So go check them out at Indiana and Illinois Thunder Roads Magazine on Facebook. Next up, Legacy Bike Works right here in Manville, Texas. Custom bikes, custom audio. You need it, we got it. We can do it. Been in business a year and a half now, making things happen. Bikes are coming, bikes are going, and very good, honest company right here in Manville, Texas. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Legacy Bike Works. Last but not least, my good friend Earl at Hopkins Design, hopkins-design.com. He does print, he does web, he does logos, he does photos, he does videos, he does everything you could possibly want for your company. He can do it. He builds all my websites and has been building all my websites for the last 20 years. I would not go to anyone else. He's got good prices. He's very creative. He can help you develop a logo, develop your website. He can do it all. Go check him out at hopkins-design.com. So what is happening, everybody? We got a couple of people watching. Mr. Jeremy Goings in the house. Thank you for those parts, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So, man, I've got a couple of pieces of things I want to talk about tonight. As everybody knows, and I've heard through the grapevine, through the chitter chatter going on behind the scenes, that, you know, I went to a dark place. I was getting very, for lack of better words, just becoming a shitty person. You know, a lot of things got to the point where, you know, I was almost over the show, over it, because I rely on a lot of people's interaction with this show to keep the show interesting, to keep it updated, to keep things going. I've gone to some rallies, did the biker build offs, and then for the last couple of years, just sat here talking to you guys just like I'm going to do tonight. But here's the deal. Here's what's changed. What changed is my attitude. My attitude has basically gotten to the point where it's kind of it's a cut and dry thing now. I want to bring the best out of the industry, and I think right now more than ever, shows like mine need to happen because there's so much hate going on in this industry, and it seems like, man, it just succumbs everybody. You know, it's all that's ever on there is shit talking about this person, shit talking about that person, doing this, doing that, doing the other. Did we all forget it's about actually riding a motorcycle, building a motorcycle, painting a motorcycle, doing the custom seats on motorcycles, doing the custom audio on bikes? Did we all lose track and lose sight of the fact this was supposed to be fun, that we got into this because we liked what we're doing? Did we forget that, you know, it was a camaraderie? It introduced us to people all over the country, sometimes all over the world. You know, being on Facebook, being on YouTube, being on TikTok, being Twitter, Instagram, all these social media sites, while they are good and they've got a lot of good attributes, it's also going to be the death, in my opinion, of a lot of things, not just motorcycles, but it ruins families. It ruins friendships. I mean, the whole premise behind social media was to be able to contact friends and loved ones that no longer live around you. For everybody watching on YouTube, I fucking appreciate you guys. I fucking appreciate you guys. It was brought to my attention that back in January, when I tried to go all the way over to YouTube and just started over there, that was basically social media suicide for me, because nobody watched me over there. Well, I remember back in January of 2018, nobody watched me on Facebook. It just took time to build up the audience. And we get new followers every day on YouTube. But let me be very clear. The reason I got onto YouTube is because I want to monetize the show. The whole reason I want to monetize this show is simply so that I can put some skin in the game on these biker build-offs and attract more people to actually want to do the biker build-offs, because A, it's expensive to build a bike. B, it's expensive to travel to the shows to show the bike in the build-off competition. You know, it takes time away from paying customers. So I was trying very hard to get corporate sponsorships. I was trying very hard to get people interested in it and put some money behind this, but to no avail. It didn't happen. That's the reason I went over to YouTube, and I was trying to force everybody to go over to YouTube to get the YouTube count high, because if you're on YouTube and you can get up to a certain number of viewers and subscribers and clicks and all these things, it actually will start paying, and it will pay me. What it does for me is when it pays me, I can put that money into an account and save the money and then pay the builders to do a biker build off, which, you know, if you don't know that about me, it's because you don't watch the show. Because for the last 2 or 3 years, I've been saying, man, please go over to the YouTube channel. But nonetheless, I'm back on Facebook and I'm still posting to YouTube, and I'm trying to do more stuff to be proactive and take the ball into my own hands to get the channel monetized. But for those that have forgotten about the show, those that used to support it very heavily and have moved on to other things because they don't agree with the format, they don't agree with what I'm saying, or they just believe I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, you know what? I can appreciate that. I don't watch all the shows out there either. I don't like all the shows either. And there's a couple of shows out there that I started to try to watch and they just got very boring to me. So I'm not upset if you don't really want to watch the show, and it's okay if you have an opinion about me. That's totally cool. I'm fine with that. But what I'm not fine with is I'm not fine with everything going on in this industry. And yes, I'm about to talk about something that I'm sure I'm going to get backlash for, but at this point, I'm really at the point in my journey with this whole social media stuff where I don't care anymore. I don't care if you think I know what I'm talking about. I don't care if you think I know this or I know that. Man, the proof is in the pudding. And I've said that from day one also, which, by the way, if anybody I tagged in the audio industry for this show tonight, if anybody wants to come on here that I tagged, man, I will send you a link right now to bring you on here, because I do want the professionals, the people that actually know the audio. I want them on the show. Highly suspect they won't be watching, but that's okay too, because I'm giving everybody here my opinion. This is my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, man, all you got to do is push the button that says escape, get out, whatever of the show. You don't have to watch it. But I'm going to say that all of the lives that I've seen over the last 2 days, man, I really do. I consider some of these guys acquaintances, because they're not my friends. They're just acquaintances that I know, I've met in the industry. But I'm going to tell you right now, I support everybody. I don't care if you're Keith Barker, Joey Hensley, or Daniel Roby, or Scott Owens, or John Shope, or Brian Barber. I actually support everybody. The reason I support everybody is because everybody brings something good to this industry. But they also are very capable of bringing trash to this industry, bullshit to the industry. If you told me 28 years ago, do the math on that, 28 years ago. If you'd told me 28 years ago, I would be a professional welder. And when I say the word professional welder, I mean, I got paid a salary at a company to weld, which makes me a professional welder because that's what they paid me to do. I would have told you you're crazy, because if you really want the backstory on me, back in 1989, I started working on cars. And by 1992, I was working for Toyota. I was one of the youngest ASE certified master mechanics for Toyota, which I became a master mechanic in 1995. And I worked on Toyotas. My specialty on Toyotas was suspension, electrical, and air conditioning. That's what I specialized in. Okay. Back then, we would rebuild the motors. Back then, we would rebuild the transmissions. Back then, we did a lot of stuff that we don't do now. Now, if your motor blows up, they pull the motor out, put a brand new one in. They don't rebuild the motors anymore. They don't rebuild transmissions anymore. They hardly rebuild anything anymore. But in 1997, I got out of, actually 98, I got out of the automotive industry and started my own business. I won't go into the details of why that happened, but for those that don't know, my history is actually in automotive, and my history was electrical. My history was suspension and air conditioning. That's what I specialized in. Now, with that being said, I'm 55, or fixing to be 55 years old. If you don't think I know what I'm talking about because you've never seen me do it or you've never seen me produce it, just remember there's a lot of shit I can do that I don't show people I can do because there's no sense in it. There's no point in it. But what I want to get to tonight is I want to get to the fact that stereo competitions are starting to become very volatile. It's almost like there's going to be a fist fight break out at any of these stereo competitions. I don't understand why. I really don't get it. I don't understand the classes, which I know. If I was a professional, I would understand why SOS does the rules the way they do it. Why this group over here, Sound Wars, does it the way they do it. If I were a professional. But here's the reality of it. I don't travel all over the country. I watch everything on Facebook just like everybody else does. When I watch these things on Facebook, I'm watching because either I can't afford to go to that show, I don't have the bike that I want to compete with at that show, or it's not somewhere that interests me to go to. But when I watch because I see a lot of people I like, a lot of people that I consider friends, and I like seeing my friends do good. I like seeing what they've come up with, the new parts they've built, the new things that are on the market for them. I mean, like Scott Owens. I mean, I had a conversation with Scott Owens probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he was telling me about new products he was coming out with and how, the whole game is going to change, which that's evolution of business. That's as evolution of product. That's evolution of technology. I mean, Scott Owens is a great guy. Scott Owens is moving forward with the audio industry for motorcycles. Just like Joey Hensley is, just like John Shope was doing, just like Eric Contreras is doing. Everybody is jumping in on the audio side of bike building because it's a lucrative thing to do. For Pete's sakes, me and my son are in audio now. But we're not posting everything up because not everything we post or everything we're doing is post worthy. It doesn't mean that it's not a good job. It doesn't mean the customer's not happy with their product. It just means it's not enough to get enough attention. But we're still here doing it every single day, and we're having fun doing it. We're making a lot of good customers, hopefully some good friends and good relationships. But I will say this. When you see people attacking each other, whether it's Baby Legs, Joey Hensley, or whether it's some cat I don't even know, it really, really makes me laugh. It makes me laugh to the point I'm just like, wow. So people are willing to throw hands, or let me back up. Let me back up. People are saying they're willing to throw hands with somebody they were friends with 2 hours earlier because of a stereo or a speaker or an amp on a motorcycle. Here's what I have to say about that. Grow up. Grow up. If you think your entire life is about a motorcycle, speakers, and amps, I feel very sad for you. I feel bad for you. I feel so bad for you that your whole life's worth is about a fucking motorcycle with a stereo. I have met so many cool people that I know go out, work every day, and they don't do this full time. They have a full-time job that pays their bills, that pays their mortgage, that pays for their kids' college funds, that pays their 401ks. They're not letting go of that and jumping into the audio game full tilt, period. Why? Because it could go away at any minute, and you can't bet on that. You can't bet that I'm going to keep making $250,000 to $500,000 a year doing audio on motorcycles. You can't bet your life on that. But they have their day jobs. They keep the day jobs because they're security working for someone else, which is why if you follow me on TikTok, If you follow me on TikTok, I made a post the other day that was basically a quote from Tony Montana. And it was very vulgar, it was very bad, but it's a very true statement. It's a very rare human being that will gamble 100% on themselves without backing, without funding, without someone saying, hey man, I like what you built, let me give you $1 million to grow your company. It's just not realistic. There are very few people out there that actually started with a single bike and built an empire. Not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying it's very rare. They got the money from somewhere else. They got the money from a backer. They got the money from somewhere else. Correct, Dan, which is why I said there are people out there that have done it without backing, without financial aid, without help. They just did it one bike at a time and built that name. And Dan, hats off to you because you guys did do that. Now, when you go to these shows and you have promoters and you have restaurants or bars or stuff like that, what people don't understand, which I got in trouble for this myself when Leslie Beaver was so gracious to let us use the Beaver Bar for the biker build off between Eddie Conaway and Anthony Dirty Brown. When they did that biker build off, it was a straight up clusterfuck. There's no other way to put it. But I owed Leslie a show, and I owed the two builders the opportunity to compete. Well, for those that don't know what happened, let me tell you what happened. What happened was Anthony, his customer, pulled his bike out, something to do with the paint job, but he pulled his bike out of the show with about 30 days, about 3 weeks before we were due to be in Daytona. Now, I called Eddie and I called Anthony and I said, hey guys, here's where we sit. Here's what's going on. The two of you need to discuss what you're going to do and how this is going to play out. Nobody else knew that. And I told them both. I was like, look, we have about 3 or 4 weeks before we go to Daytona, and Leslie has given us a spot, and I owe her a show because she's been promoting it. I was promoting it. You guys were promoting it. How do y'all want to handle this? Because Anthony's customer pulled his bike. So Eddie and Anthony talked between each other and said, hey, look, Eddie is going to win by default because Anthony doesn't have a bike. Eddie and Anthony decided that Anthony was going to bring a bike that he already had built just to save face, just so there was a second bike there. So no matter what the outcome was, and this is what they decided, and if I'm lying, somebody tag Anthony Dirty Brown. Y'all tag him and get him on this show, and he will back this up 100%. Eddie and Anthony decided no matter what happens, no matter who has the votes, if Eddie won free and clear. But if Anthony won, Anthony would take the trophy from me, and then Anthony would say, here's what happened. I forfeit because I didn't get to bring the bike I built. Now, here's what people that didn't know what happened were saying. Well, you should have just shut the show down. You should have just disqualified him and blah, blah, blah. But what they didn't understand is as a promoter, which that's what I was promoting the show. Leslie was promoting the show. We owed everybody a show. We owed them a show because we had built it up for almost 3 months. So you let the builders decide what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. And that's exactly what happened. And if you don't believe me, I have the video on my phone. I'll show you the video because I'm not lying about it. But my whole point is about this piece is that when you go to an audio show or you go to a parking lot pimping or something where there is a promoter, somebody that is put on a show, and somebody that owns a location has said, hey, you can have this location. At that point in time, what's up, Pat? At that point in time, everything else is pretty much done with. Now you have rules. Now you have regulations. Now you have things you have to do. When people start getting upset, it's like, hey, look, you don't understand what all is involved in doing what we've done. You're just pulling up and wanting to play and do whatever you do, which, like I said, I'm not talking bad about Keith or Joey or Jay or anybody that was involved. I'm just giving you the logistics of why certain things had to happen. Now, to be honest with you, I wasn't in Myrtle Beach when all this shit went down. So I really don't care. And as soon as I started watching the videos, I was just like, okay, here we go. Here's the shit show. And look at all the people that want to watch a shit show. And then it started clicking in my own head, but yet I'm being told my show is stupid because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm promoting a company that doesn't know what they're doing. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, what a load of shit. It is. It's a load of shit. Everybody loves a train wreck, and it's proof. So I took a month off. I need to get my head right because I was in a really bad place. I was in a bad place. And for you guys that don't know, you will find out eventually what the bad place was that I was in. It was affecting my friendships, affecting the show, affecting my wife, affecting my kids. But I was in a bad place. And it was because things were happening in my life that nobody is privy to. I'm not about to sit here and blab all of my business to everybody and let everybody know what is, what isn't happening, things of that nature. But I will say this. Hold me accountable. That's fine. Hold me accountable. That's totally fine. If you're a professional in the audio game and you honestly believe I don't know what I'm talking about, then come on my show. For Pete's sakes, please, I beg you, come on my show, set me straight. Everybody would love to hear from the professionals of what is really what, why things are the way they are. Because at the end of the day, all I really want to do is have a group, a unity in the builders, a unity with the promoters. I want to get things back to where it's fun again, back to where builders are doing industry things. By the way, Daniel Roby, thank you for holding the industry party. That's a good thing. That makes people feel good. That makes people feel like they're a part of something. That makes people want to get to that level. And you know, the funniest thing in the world is every stereo system starts with one radio, one amp, and a speaker. And as you go, you learn. As you learn, you fail. As you fail, you learn. What's up, Doug? Good to see you watching, brother. That's evolution. You learn, you go, you learn from your mistakes. But if you're in a group of people that constantly point out your mistakes, you're in the wrong group, bro. You're in the wrong group. You are in the wrong group if your circle does nothing but call out your mistakes and never celebrate your victories, no matter how small a victory is. Sometimes a victory for certain people, here's the truth, baby. Sometimes a victory for certain people is getting out of bed. Did you know that? Did you know sometimes the victory is just waking up? That's what it is. You don't know what's going on in people's lives. So when something's going on in someone's life and then they call you to ask you a question and you just shit on them, man, you're a bad person. You're a bad person. You're a bad person because you don't know everything that's going on in their lives. And maybe they're reaching out to you because that one little problem has been kicking their ass and kicking it and kicking it, and they're embarrassed to call you and ask you about it. But then when they do call you and ask about it, you give them shit. Stop it. Stop it, people. Stop the bullshit. If you're a stereo god and you're a stereo guru, help the people that aren't. Help the people that are not stereo gurus. Help the people that are just curious and want to learn. Because I'm going to tell you one of the best things in this world, and you fucking correct me if I'm wrong. One of the best things in the world is being able to pass on a piece of knowledge to somebody and then having that person just simply say thank you. That's it. That's it. That's it. So I have notes that I've written down. I have notes. But I don't want to read all these notes because some of them don't make sense because they were in a moment. But I am going to read one thing. Value. I'm going to actually tell you what value is. Okay? Thank you, Stephen. I'll get right back with you. Value. It's a noun. For those that don't know, value is a noun. Okay? The regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. Your support is of great value. Do you hear that? It's to hold, something is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. That's what value is. Okay? I said that to you guys because I know people in this industry, and I will use all three of the aforementioned people. I will use Keith, I will use Joey, and I'll use Scott Owens and Daniel Roby. Keith Barker is doing something for the industry to make it better and to put money in his pockets. Why? Money's good. Speakers are badass. It's evolution, better parts. Joey Hensley, I don't know if he makes his own speakers. I don't think he makes his own line of parts or bags, but I know Joey promotes the shit out of parts. I know Joey promotes the shit out of the speakers and the stuff he uses. I know he's also very secretive about what he does, how he does it, because he doesn't want people knowing what his secret sauce is. But I also know that he helps out with a lot of shows and he brings a lot of good to this industry. I know Scott Owens brings a lot of value to this industry with product knowledge, product tuning, plus he's making parts specifically for people to be able to compete in the industry. Daniel Roby. Daniel Roby is doing something good for the industry. He's going to the different venues. He's going to the different shows. He's setting up. He's got the magazine. He's putting on shows. He's putting on stereo competitions. He's bringing something positive to the industry. But I'll tell you right now, I have heard more shit spoken about all four of those people than I care to have heard. It actually amazed me that the people talking shit about, and it's all four of them. I've heard people talk shit about all four of those guys. I have not a single bad thing to say about any of the four. But what I don't get is when you bring so much positive to the industry, why do you turn back around, with the exception of Roby and Scott Owens? But I just want to know why Keith, and I want to know why Joey and Jay felt it necessary to mock each other. That's between them. But I'm just a spectator. They needed viewers. They needed people watching. I was one of the people watching. I'm just curious. Why? Is it a love-hate relationship? Is it because you need more viewers? What is it? Because if I'm not mistaken right now, Keith Barker, Daniel Roby are in some kind of war that I pray to God doesn't get physical, because I like them both. They're both great people. but I would hate to see it get physical over audio. That's the stupidest thing in the world. If somebody was fighting for the honor of their wife or to protect their children, I get that 100%. But you're wanting to argue and fuss and fight over stereos? I'm sorry. I don't need to be a professional audio guy to understand that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's my 2 cents on that. Now, with that being said, if there's any audio guys that I did tag in this, please come on the show. Send me a message. Actually, I got a message. Let me go look at my messages real fast. No message there. No message there. No message there. No message there. So yeah, I don't have any messages there. So yeah, so nobody wants to come on live. Probably because they don't want to watch me, probably because they don't like it and they don't think I know what I'm talking about. But you know what? I'm not talking about how many ohms are in this or how many watts are in that or how many speakers should be in this competition, that, because at the end of the fucking day, I don't give 2 shits. I don't care, because I'm not chasing trophies and the belts and the rings and the accolades and all that. Those are nice. Those are great things to have because it shows you put in effort and you're capable of building a killer stereo system. But I'm never going to understand why there's so much hate over audio. Sorry, I don't get it. Now, pay attention to their actions, not their words. The proof is always in the pudding. Pay attention to their actions, not their words. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what they say to you. They're going to show you who they are in your life. Stephen, do you want to come on the show and discuss this? Because I don't want to be the only guy talking about, you know what, Stephen, I don't want to discuss it anymore. I just want it to go away, and I want people to start getting along and having fun at these fucking shows again. And good job for putting on the show. I appreciate that, Stephen. That's an awesome thing you did. I like I said before, I hope it goes away. I hope when everybody gets together, and I don't even know when they're getting together, in a couple of weeks or something like that. Yeah, Roby's live right now. That's everybody's over there watching the parking lot pimping. Good job. That's awesome. I just wish there would be a change. I wish there would be a shift into something better. I just wish, because I know all of the aforementioned people are badass. I know all those guys bring a lot to the table with the audio industry, and they are looked upon as the professionals, you know, and there are a lot more professionals out there. I didn't name them all. I didn't care to name them all because, let's be honest, I'm talking about something that has been talked about the last 2 days. You know, this is old news, but I want to understand why. Why does it have to be this way? Why does it always have to end up in some kind of fight, some kind of argument, some kind of you did me wrong? I don't care. Why? It's if you take it upon yourself to spend $100,000 to build a stereo on wheels, good for you. That's great. You are correct. It's a mess, and it needs to be for the fun of it and help bring more people into the industry. Amen, brother. Stephen, thank you. That's what it should be about, because I'm going to tell you what, if you only had the professionals buying the parts, how many parts are you going to sell? But that dude down the street, like my son, he just did a little 2-speaker setup on a Heritage Softail, put some lowers on the crash bar, man, nice little stereo. That guy's never going to compete, but that guy sure is going to be very happy rolling down the road with his little stereo system, having fun. That's what we do it for. We do it for the customers that want to just have some fun with their stuff. You know, FYI, people, just letting you all know, Devin and I are building a audio bike that we are not going to compete with. I'm sure we're going to parking lot pimp the shit out of it. I'm sure at some point people are going to be like, oh, just go enter it for fun. Just go enter it for fun. And we may do that. We might do it for fun. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not following anybody's rules. I'm not doing speaker counts based off of this competition or that competition. I'm actually building a bike that I want to ride, that I want to play, that's built the way we want to build it. And I could give 2 shits what the rules are. I don't care if it's got 40 fucking speakers or if it's got 3. I don't care. It is what it is. We're building it for fun. We're building it to have fun. We're building it to push ourselves because we're going to make a lot of the parts that we're going to be using. And we're also going to be using Insane Asylum because I absolutely love Scott's personality, his business sense, and I love the way he builds parts. He makes a great part. Therefore, I want to be on that team. But we're also going to be doing a lot of our own shit. So there's that. People change and relationships don't always last. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. People change and relationships don't always last. They don't. I'm glad I took notes because, man, some of these little sayings are just the shit and they fall right in with what I'm talking about. And it's okay. Your relationships don't have to last. Sometimes people are here for a season and not a reason. That's all cool. I don't actually hate anybody that hates me. I don't actually hate anybody that thinks I'm an idiot or doesn't agree with this show or thinks I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't, because the truth of the matter is I've never had to prove anything to them in the first place, and you shouldn't have to either. Parking lot pimp is perfect. Yes, Tim. Yes. Wait till you see my Zenith stereo console when I put wheels and a motor in it. Laugh my ass off. Uncle Bruno, ding ding, you're the winner tonight. Let others think what they want about you. Don't prove them right. Don't prove them right. Let them think whatever they want to think about you. You don't have to prove them right. You open your mouth, you prove them right. Sit back, trust in yourself, trust in your people, and do the best you can with what you got. And if you end up hitting home runs, awesome. If you end up striking out, go home and do it again. That's all there is to it. Go home and do it again. That's all you got to do, man. Because I'm going to tell you what, at the end of the day, my vacations are not at motorcycle rallies. My vacations aren't at stereo competitions. My vacations are not at any of this stuff. My vacations are usually on a boat when it's not broken, with my family, on a beach, things of that nature. But how does the vinyl do hitting bumps? You know, Uncle Bruno is going to let us know. You know, I could list about a list of about 50 people that I thought were my friends that I know for a fact talk more shit behind my back than is actually necessary. And those 50 people, I want nothing negative for them. I want nothing bad for them. I still want them to do good, and I still want them to flourish in whatever it is they're doing. You asked me that a month ago, I'd have told them I would hope that they are 6 feet under soon. But I have had to do some reflections on myself. I've had to do some reflections on this show. And I'm telling you guys, man, I want to take this show into another direction where it's actually about building. And I want to interview people that actually build shit. I want to interview people that have a process they do and they're not afraid to show people. Because it's all about building bikes, and it can be about audio. It can be about building frames. It can be about hubless fucking electric motorcycles, Tim. It can be about anything, because at the end of the day, the secret sauce is the people. The people are the secret sauce. It's a lot of fun, man. We get one life to live, and I hope and I pray that if you're one of the people that doesn't like me or doesn't care for me, I hope and pray I don't stay on your mind so you can't get sleep. Because at the end of the day, I want to grow this channel. I want to get enough money so I can have a $30,000 winner take all biker build off. And I will make that happen. Mark my fucking words. Why is Dorian tagged? If he shows up on this live, I bet he'd kill it. Oh, you did not just say, what did you just say? I'm putting that on the screen. So, Joe Fattless. So, Scott Hoover, a lot of that is lack of self-respect, nothing to do with you, I'm sure, bud. Respect has to make its way back. And you know what, Scott? You and I haven't been real close very long, but I consider you a really solid human being. I like the memes and the stuff you put out there. I like following you, but you just seem like a pretty decent guy. But you know what, Scott? Just because it's the fucking internet, bro, I'm going to have to get your social security number, your driver's license number, and I'm going to have to do a background check on you, because if it turns out, man, you're a bad dude, well, I don't want to dog you because you're a bad dude. Yes, that was a direct poke at some things. But anyway, so I've said my piece. I've said what I had to say, and I know it's old hat because you guys listened to Jay and Joey last night. Y'all listened to Roby. Y'all listened to Keith Barker do his couple of lives, and and this is all old hat. But it wasn't about what happened. It's about the people that kept doing shit. Right, Scott? I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, man, if there's anything I can do to help anybody, let me know. If you have a product you want to showcase on this show, showing how you build it or what you got, man, let me know. I'm actually learning. I've been watching YouTube videos to learn how to edit videos on the cell phone so that I can start putting reels together, because there's a lot of metal work I want to start doing for me. Not to show you that I know how to do metal work, but to show I can do metal work and there's something there to view, because maybe there's somebody in another state or something that's having an issue with the same type of project, and maybe by watching me do it, it'll teach them something they didn't realize they were doing wrong, or maybe I can watch them and see how they're doing it. If you feel like you want to be part of that team, man, send me a message, send Uncle Bruno a message, and we're going to make this happen. Now, I will say this, because I've discussed it with Uncle Bruno. Uncle Bruno and I are going to start doing a little bit of homework on some topics. And then Uncle Bruno and I are going to go live together, and we're going to have a discussion about certain things going on. It may not always be motorcycle related, but guess what? You don't have to watch that night. But we're going to have a back and forth. So I'm not talking to myself, even though I know I'm talking to all you guys. I can actually be talking to Uncle Bruno, and we can discuss things back and forth. If you feel like you want to be a part of that part also, and you have a topic you want to talk about on the show, send me a message, send Uncle Bruno a message, and we will make it happen. I would love to know how to do metal work, making tanks and fenders and stuff. So Tim Messer, I'm going to tell you a secret right now. If you want to build a all metal gas tank, you don't need any special tools. If you have a hammer, man, dude, go to Harbor Freight and buy some of their body working dollies. And dude, give me a call. I will show you how to do it. It takes a lot longer and it's a lot harder, but you don't have to have English wheels, plenishing hammers, shrinker stretchers. You don't have to have all that stuff to build that. You just got to have patience, a hammer, a dolly, and a couple of little things that are probably laying around in your backyard right now. So send me a message and I'll help you out with that as much as I possibly can. Randy Akers never had fights and brawls at his shows. He must have had the right touch. Oh my, did you really just say that, Joe? Joe was on a roll tonight, putting it on the screen for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Wow. But anyway, so I'm back. I'm in a good space. A lot of cool things happening with me in my life right now, of which I'm going to start letting people know. So anyway, do me a favor, man. Stop hating on people because they're different. Stop hating on people because it seems like they don't know what they're doing. Lend them a hand and help them figure out what they're asking for. They may not have the wherewithal to actually put themselves out there and be vulnerable. But if they do, be nice and understand that they must respect you. So they're asking you for the advice. Anyway, you guys go have a kick-ass night, man. And we will see you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Hopefully, I'll have something even cooler to talk about next week instead of talking about stupid audio shows. Anyway, peace, love,